Now, LWC, as I mentioned, this is actually the visual presentation or visual page layout, you can say. Now, previously, whenever you are writing or building any custom page means which is not out of the box, means some of the functionalities, some of the features you cannot do in a standard page layout. Then we go for the custom page. Now, custom visual page, when you are doing previously, then in Salesforce, there was a page called Visual Force page first when they developed, they started. Then they migrated the Visual Force page to the Lightning Web component, Aura component. And now the latest version of that is actually the LWC, means Lightning Web component. Now, Lightning Web Component is actually based on the HTML and JavaScript combination version. That means its visual part is actually controlled or developed on the HTML, and the controller part, that means how the Visual Force page will act, and not Visual Force page, sorry, the page will act, or what is the functions you call something, everything is actually means written in the JavaScript language. And there is another part of that LWC component that called XML. XML is actually designed on the LWC just to publish the page in a different layout, because whenever you are creating any LWC, normally by default it is become inactive. Now you have to make it active, and you have to mention that where actually you want to fit that page. It will be a record page or home page or something like that. So those things is actually we mention in the XML part. Let's share my screen and go one of the basic LWC page. নিতাদি বলো।
করে হয়ে গেছিল। Sorry.
Can you see my develop? Sorry, visual.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visual.
Okay. Now, normally,
Sir,
whenever you, yeah,
sir, Visual Force page and Aura still in use in Salesforce?
it is in use in Salesforce, but actually, for some of the features, actually, we are building in Visual Force page and Aura. One of the most useful right now, still it is not present in LWC. That is called now any page. If you want to convert as a PDF, that means if you want to convert the page in PDF or doc version or something, that design you cannot make in LWC. The problem, that means render as part, you can make the page, but if you want to save that page output, that means after giving some of the inputs, if you want to save the output as a PDF, then you cannot do via LWC. Then what we have to do, we have to write that page in the Visual Force page, and there is a there is some feature called render as PDF. By that way, you can convert that particular page to PDF format. Now, this is small things actually still not present in LWC. That's why Visual Force page and Aura component still in use. Normally, Aura component is more advanced than the Visual Force page. Aura component normally they will not obsolete very quickly, but they are trying to obsolete Visual Force page. Though those limitations, what I mentioned right now, when they actually rectify or utilize those limitations in other features or other components, that means Aura LWC, then I think they will obsolete totally, remove the Visual Force page part, like they have already done the removal of the workflow, because now you can do everything
Yeah.
which is you can do in the workflow in via flows. So that's why they totally remove the workflow part, or process builder, both of them is actually they removed. So that's why slowly they will do means obsolete the Visual Force page as well. There is some limitations also Visual Force page. That's why they have introduced the Aura component first, because whatever the Lightning design system they build, iframe system, iframe structure, those Visual Force page don't support in the iframe structure. That's why if you build any Visual Force page, and if you want to incorporate the particular page in a Lightning page layout, it is not possible. So those things have a problem. So that's why they introduce Aura, and then now latest version is the LWC, because it is more flexible and more easy to write the code. It's a combination of the HTML and JavaScript. Aura is more complex than the LWC. Whenever actually we started to learn the Aura component, there is a five component, component in five part of one component, and you have to write at least three part of that. It is more complex, but more flexible. LWC is more flexible than the Aura. Now, just if one thing you always remember, whenever you want to write any LWC component or whenever you want to build any LWC component, you cannot do from the developer console. You have to install the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so in the developer console, you will not get any kind of reference of LWC. So even Aura component or the Apex class you can open from the developer console, but Visual Studio Code if you don't install, then after today's session, just install in your machine and then try to write the code, because LWC component you cannot write in developer from the developer console. Okay. Okay. Now, whenever you actually install the Visual Studio Code, and then what is the steps actually you should follow? I think you already have some, everyone have the idea on the Visual Studio Code, right? To install or to create a project, and then to um, means associate a org, means authorize a org, right? Or anyone having any doubt or any problem on that? Hello.
Sir, I have account, but I'm not like set up. Today I'll do.
Okay. So whenever actually you authorized any kind of org, normally your org is a developer org. That means whenever you click on this particular uh, icon, it will give you the options to authorize org. And when you click on the authorization of org, you will get some options which kind of sandbox or the org you want to connect. Normally, on your case, your org is a developer org. That means it will be marked as production, because you can see the login credentials. It's login.salesforce.com. By this way, actually, you are logging always in the developer console. Sorry, developer org. So then you just select that one, and then you just whenever you means authorize that org, automatically these options will come in this particular explorer part. Yes, explorer section. Okay, and here you will get a options called force app, and if you just click on that, and then you will get different options to create on this force app. That means it's a Aura component, or if you want to create any Apex class, there you will get the options of Apex classes. You also get an option called LWC. From here actually you can create an LWC, or you can see the already created one. So you can see under the LWC we have some of the folders or some of the components. This is actually the LWC components which is already I have written. Now just if I want to click any LWC new, then if you just click on the right click on this particular LWC and click on this create lightning web component, automatically it will create a web component for me. You have to just specify the name. See, automatic it is coming. Let me check. Yeah, you have to give the name here, and automatically it will generate a new LWC component with blank content, because this kind of content it will not come. Only what will come, or it will come in this way, template, something like this. What is template and LJS? I am coming one by one. Now, just let me show you one of the already written LWC component. This is the LWC component I have created. Okay. Now you can, I just mention, as I mentioned, in any kind of LWC component, you have three parts. One is the HTML. You can see the name. It's demo LWC, and the component part name is coming as demo LWC dot HTML. Dot HTML mentioning that means this is written on the HTML language. This is the view part. View means whatever the thing you are developing to display in the page, any kind of field if you want to expose, everything is actually written in this particular part. Now, in the particular HTML part, the tag, you can see tag template starting, template ending. In between these two template tag, you have to write all your code. Okay, any field, any kind of lightning card, everything you have to write. Now what is lightning card, what is lightning data layout, everything, or lightning input, I will come one by one today, and also in our next sessions I will mention the rest of the part, because this is different lightning design system. And already like means Salesforce has built some of the features for you, so that you can use that particular features, and by default you will get the additional attributes of that features automatically, so you don't have to write any kind of extra coding for that. So first of all, you just remember, whenever you will create any LWC component, it will always contain three parts. Automatically these three parts will appear. HTML part is actually the view part. That means whatever in the page you want to show, that you have to write in the HTML tag. Okay, and whenever you will go to the HTML part, then it will automatically whatever the view thing you want to write, it will be written inside the template tag. Inside the template tag you can write anything whatever you want, and that will be considered as the HTML template. It's called HTML template. Okay, any doubt on this particular one?
No.
No, sir.
Because why I am giving force on this particular part, this is the basic thing you have to, means any kind of small LWC if you want to write, this is the basic thing you always remember. Okay, now the second part is coming called JS, JavaScript controller. Okay, now what is the JS controller? Now in this particular HTML you can have different buttons, different action buttons, different features. Now you want that whenever you are typing something or any kind of input field, because you have already seen some of the pages of the banks or any kind of social networking sites or any kind of Amazon or Flipkart sites. So whenever you are searching, based on that you are giving some of the drop downs, or it will redirecting you to some of the pages, or whenever you are clicking the button it will give you some inputs. So in the page what you can see, that is written in the HTML. Whatever the pictures you are seeing, whatever the words you are seeing, whatever this is written, it is HTML. But whenever you are doing something, that means clicking on any buttons or something, what the actions is actually performing, that always will be written in the JS part. That means HTML and JS all together, actually you are giving a complete page to fulfill your requirements. Okay, so that means with only HTML you can write if you don't want to do any kind of actions. That means only you want to display something, only you want to display some of the numbers, you can write only HTML. But if you want that whatever the number you want to display, that should be fetched from some of the components or some of the custom object or some of the standard objects or whatever, means some of the Salesforce database system. If you want to fetch something and you want to display, then you need action, because on the load of the page you need that this particular LWC should fetch those data from the Salesforce database system, and then it will display. So that is actually an action. Then you need one kind of JavaScript controller for that. Now those things actually you have to write in this particular JS dev, means lwc.js part, lwc name.js part, you have to write every kind of actions. Only you want to display a static number, there is no actions or no involvement of Salesforce database system, then you can do right directly with HTML. But you can, if you want to do any kind of actions, any kind of actions, you want to call any Apex class or a DML operations directly, or any kind of operations if you want to do, then you have to write a JS part. Those actions or those DML operations and everything, it should be mentioned in the JS. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Third part is called the XML. Now this name you don't change anytime. Whatever, whenever you are creating any new LWC, automatically this with whatever the name you are giving of the LWC component, automatically this particular parts will take .html, .js, .xml. So don't try to rename those particular. You will get the options called rename, but don't try to rename on this particular tag or particular parts. Whatever it is there, just keep it. If you want to change, then just at the time of creations, just change the name or whatever the name you want to give, just give that name. So in between I have seen some of the times, that means some of them created a LWC component with this name, and by mistakes they have renamed this particular one. Now the component is not behaving correctly. So that's why I am telling you, because whenever the Salesforce system will call is this particular LWC, it will call all these three parts. Now if there is a mismatch of the name, because wow, it will get the means, it will understand what is the HTML part with the name tag and .html, they will fetch the HTML part. With the name tag .js, they will fetch the JS tag. Now if somehow if you rename the HTML or JS, normally the page cannot behave properly, the LWC component. So better at the time of creation, whenever you are writing a creating any LWC component, give the name proper in the proper case format, Salesforce standard. That means initials, all small letters, and then keep it is whatever the parts is coming automatically. Okay. Now last part is called the XML part. Now what actually in the XML we are doing? Whenever you are creating any new LWC component, automatically this some of the parts will automatically appear. How it will appear, I can show you. Just creating one of the small LWC. Let me create. Always select the Force app main default LWC library. See, it is already created. Test demo LWC. This particular one, it is coming. Sometimes it's for the testing part, but it's not required. If you want, you can just delete that particular one. Now see, automatically HTML, JS and XML automatically appear. What is HTML you are getting? See, only the tag template. Inside the template tag, you have to write whatever you want to write, or means for the display part. In the JS tag, what is coming by default? It is coming first components. You can see first letter. No, sorry, the word import lightning element from LWC. Now, what is actually mentioning? LWC is actually a library of Salesforce. Okay, Salesforce custom library, you can say. From there, actually, it's taking the lightning element part, because you are doing some of the LWC has different sections, different part, but everything is not required to write your LWC component. So that's why automatically what is required, it is taking import lightning element from LWC, it is automatically taking. This is actually, you don't have to write anything at the time of creation. Automatically it will take, keep it is. Now the second is that export default class test demo LWC, that is the name, extends lightning element. Now I think you already got the expression on the extends part, right? In the Apex class, inherits, extends, this particular part actually you already gone through, correct? Now,
Yes.
what is actually extends means, because it takes demo LWC, whatever I want to write a extra action or any new actions which is not present this particular lightning element library. That particular part, on based on the lightning element library, it is actually extending the functionality. That means adding the functionality, you can say. Okay, that means if it has, let's say, 1 to 5 features. Now whatever the components, sorry, the actions I will write inside this particular tag, those will be the additional on based on that 5 features. Okay, clear? Clear
Yes.
everyone on this
Yes,
particular
sir.
part?
Yes, yes. Actually, inheritance is happening here, na?
Yes, it's actually taking the all the features of lightning element and extending based on that particular component, whatever you written. Means it's extending the features, it's not actually blocking the features, it's extending, it's getting the features and also adding the new features. What is the new features? Whatever the thing or whatever the actions you will write on this particular in between this tag, that will be the additions of that particular features. Okay.
Okay.
Now in the XML you can automatically see some of the components, some of the values is coming. Don't change anything particular first line and second line. Don't change anything first line and second line, and also don't change API version normally, because automatically it is taking the latest version. What you have to change, you can see is exposed tag is actually marked as false. What is mean by is exposed? Actually whenever you are writing any kind of LWC component, by default it is actually hidden from the Salesforce system. How it is hidden? As it is marked as false, that's why it is hidden. Now what you have, if you want to add this particular component to any kind of page layout, either record page or home page layout, you have to make it true. Just you have to make it true, and then you have to deploy, save and deploy. Just we are doing deploy this to the source one. If you make it true, then actually it will be visible on the Salesforce system. Otherwise, what will happen? Let's say you created one LWC component, you go to the Salesforce system, and then in a button you want to add that LWC component, but you will not find that particular LWC component. Or any page layout, if you want to add any LWC, that particular LWC component, you cannot get that particular options. So it can be two options. Sorry, the whenever you are not getting any LWC component, it can be the two reasons. One reason is that this is exposed is marked as false. Second reason is that in this particular demo part, in this XML, you can see I have mentioned some of the target part. Target, if I don't mention, normally it will not be exposed in kind of any record page, home page, or app page. So both thing you have to mention. One thing is that you have to make this is exposed as true, so that it will be exposed in Salesforce system. And then you have to mention the targets. Target means where actually you want to use this particular LWC component. Either it will be app page. App means any lightning app if you want to add, or any record page. Record means if any kind of object record page. That means contact page, account page, lightning page layout, whatever you are getting, there you want to add this particular page. Or home page, any kind of app you have home page. Normal default home page, if you want to, it means add those particular one. Now I have given three options altogether.
Sir,
That
I have a
means,
small question, sir.
yeah.
So what is the part, like the front page is HTML, correct?
Yes.
So for the viewer part, and what about the XML part? Actually, I'm little bit
XML part is actually controlling your expose part. Expose means where actually you want to use, how you want to use. Either it will be used in the app page, record page, or home page. Now, visual means a visual component you build, a JavaScript component you build to do the actions between the visual part and the backend part. Okay, but
so XML will work as a like Java and HTML in between, correct?
XML is actually nothing but it will not work between these two. It will actually make this particular component visible and accessible to particular target. Target means
That
either it
that
will
means for users.
for users. Okay,
And what about HTML for the viewing purpose?
HTML is only for the view purpose. Means whatever field you can see, whatever the input page or the page you can see. Let's say just consider Amazon. If you want to go give some order in Amazon, okay,
Correct.
what you have done, you just click on the Amazon app in your mobile, and you
Mhm.
scroll through some of the phone. Let's say you want to order some phone, you go to the
Mm,
phone page, whatever the phone you want. Now
mm,
whatever the phone part you can see, the image of the phone. If you want to make it zoom, you can zoom it, and also the specifications, the price
Okay.
tag, everything. Those is actually written in the HTML.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you want to click on something, let's say you want to make it zoom, just click on zoom part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what is happening? Image is become zoomed in. Okay, and then you
Correct.
scrolling. That means different images you are seeing. Those you are doing some actions, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
only you are doing some actions. You are just clicking on the zoom in part, or you are scrolling. Those actions is controlled on the JS part. Okay, but
Okay.
JS and HTML all together is working because it will giving you new pages, new images. So that's why you
Mm-hmm.
can see different images. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is that you want to order that one. You just go to the button, means order now something button. You click on
Mm-hmm.
that particular part. That is
Okay.
also actions. It is control in the JS part. Now, whenever you clicking on the button, then after that it is redirecting you a new page, the address
Correct.
confirmations. That is actually HTML. So JS and HTML both all together is working. Now, why XML is actually responsible for that? Now, consider, because this is Amazon is built on the you can say web page. Now, considering the Salesforce part, XML part is responsible if you want to expose this particular lightning component, any kind of Salesforce system, then you have to mention this particular false tag as true. Those control part is actually controlled by the XML. That means visibility or the accessibility. Okay, you
Mm.
build the Apex class. You know
Mm.
what the actions it should do. But normally you go to the user profile and you are giving access to the Apex class, right?
Mm.
So if you don't give the access, then normally what will happen? Even if you retain the Apex class, the user cannot use it. Correct?
Correct.
Same thing, HTML and JS you build, but if you don't expose this particular XML part, means if you don't, this is actually, you can see the adding of the visibility, just like you are doing the FLS on the field part, or in the profile you are giving some permissions on the Apex class. Those particular part here you are giving here. Normally in LWC you don't have to give any kind of permissions to any kind of users. Whenever you marking as is exposed as true, automatically it will be exposed for all users.
Okay.
Okay,
So that means for the only expose, like true or false. That's it.
by default it will be false. Just like I have created the test demo,
Mm-hmm.
you can see it is by
It was
default it is
previously,
showing as
yeah, it was
false.
previously false.
False. Now I have to make it true. If I don't make it true, then it will be visible, it will not be visible any kind of pages.
Mm-hmm.
First thing is that. Second thing is that I have to mention where I want to use this particular page. That is the target. Means target audience, you can say, means which kind of audience can use this particular page. This is
Okay.
a simple thing.
For the
Now,
users, it will use XML.
sorry,
For that user, like suppose I am a user, another person will be another user.
this is whatever you are doing, it is irrespective of the users. It will be
Okay.
done for all one, irrespective of the users. That means if it is exposed or marked as true, it will be true for all users. If I have written this particular one, let's say I have exposed, means make the target as record page. That means for every user record page I can add this particular LWC component. Record page means the object page. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
clear?
Got it.
So
Got it.
here there is no user specific permissions. It is actually the general permissions you are giving.
Correct.
Now
For everyone.
for everyone. Now,
Mm.
this is the permissions you have to give. Otherwise, you cannot use this particular LWC component in Salesforce system. Okay.
Mm.
Even if
Mm.
you want to expose this Lightning component in a site page means community page, then also you have to write some target. And obviously, this expose you have to make it true.
Mhm.
Otherwise, not possible. Now, if any kind of JS component, if you add any kind of Apex class, because if you want to call any Apex class, if you want to call any Apex class or Apex class method, you have to call that one in the JS component, because you are calling the database system means database system components, right? Apex class Salesforce system component is actually fetching, querying some of the database records, right? So those particular part you have to write in this JS part. Now, additionally, that Apex class also you have to give the permission to the particular user. So there is two part. One is the LWC permissions that automatically is taken care from this particular XML part. You don't have to explicitly give any kind of user any extra permissions. Clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
But any additional Apex class, if you have added or called in particular or used in the LWC component, in JS component, then that Apex class also you have to give explicitly extra permissions to the particular users. Otherwise, what will happen, they will get the options on the LWC part, but some of the operations will not be means you can say will not operate, will not do, means you cannot do. Because if you want to fetch any kind of data from database, if you don't give the permissions on Apex class, then you cannot get particular data. Those things will appear. So some things, that means you can see the page, but when you are clicking on the button, then nothing is happening. So sometimes it is also happened some of the projects that we forgot to give the permissions in the Apex class. LWC screen is appearing. When the users is clicking on the button, then nothing is happening. Then when we investigated, then we find out that okay, we got a mistake, that we have not given the permissions in the Apex class. So please keep in mind, LWC component, you don't need any kind of extra permissions features. Automatically, whenever you are doing this particular is exposed as true, and also you are mentioning the target audience, you can say, then automatically the LWC will be exposed to everyone, all the users, irrespective of the profiles and permissions. But if you have added or used any any Apex class or something, then explicitly you have to give that permissions on that Apex classes. Please be sure on this particular two part. Okay, clear to everyone?
Hello,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yeah.
Sir, suppose if I giving target and I set the value like false, then only user seen or like something.
No one can see. First prerequisite is you have to make it true. Like in the FLS, if you don't give the FLS, then if you add the page in the field in the page layout, you can see the page field.
Means if I adding in
If you
record
are
page
adding
on,
any field in the page layout, you
yes.
get the access on the page layout part, but you have not given the FLS. So you can see the field in the page layout or not.
Mm, no,
First prerequisite is you have to give the permission on FLS, right?
yes, yes,
So this is the first prerequisite. You have
yes.
to make it true. If you make it false and if you make target, there is no meaning.
Sir, I'm confusing in this part.
What kind of confusion you have?
Can you explain again?
Okay, so what, how you want to give the permissions, that is actually controlling the XML part. Now, I think you've gone through the Salesforce profile roles and everything, right? You already have that idea.
Sir, only two session is complete in admin parts, not much more.
You gone through the Apex class sessions.
Yes, sir, I know Apex class.
Okay. Permission is actually a vast thing. Actually, how can I explain the permissions right now in this particular custom means Lightning Web Component part? Because that is a different sessions. Altogether, it will take one day. Means one session it will take. Permissions is actually, even if you create something, you will not get automatically the access. Now normally, as a developer editions, you, when you are logging as a system admin. System admin means system admin users are the super users. They are normally the developers. Means we are the developers. Whenever we are developing or creating anything in the Salesforce database, we are logging as a system admin profile users. Now system admin profile users can have every permissions. You don't have to give explicitly any permissions to the system admin profile users. But what is happening when actually some of the users which who has no system admin profile, normally whatever the permissions on the fields or the page layouts they have, based on that they will get the access. Even as you told that you have gone through the Apex class, even if you write any Apex class, system admin user can get access, but that doesn't mean that other users whoever don't have the system admin profile will get the access on that particular Apex class. They means you have to mention explicitly, or you have to give the permissions on that particular Apex class explicitly to that particular user, then actually that user can get the access. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
So if you don't give the access, then they cannot do anything. So that's why somehow don't be confused that you are logging in the developer editions, you can see everything. That doesn't mean that every user can see everything. Only you are the system admin user, that's why you can see everything. But in normal case, means if you are working any project, then normal users don't have the system admin permissions. They have some limited permissions. Based on
Yes.
that limited permissions, whatever you means business are actually deciding that this particular users can see this particular part, only those part actually they are getting the access.
Yes,
Clear?
sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
Now LWC also having some of the permissions. Now permissions, you don't have to go to the Salesforce part and you have to give that kind of thing, you don't have to do. So in LWC, whenever you are creating any new LWC component, automatically, I just shown you that automatically three components will appear, three parts will appear: HTML, JavaScript, and XML. Clear?
Yes, sir.
HTML view, JavaScript is actually controller, means backend actions, whatever you are doing, and XML is what is actually you are giving the permissions in the XML part.
Yes.
How you are giving the permissions? By default, this is exposed. Let me go to this. By default, this is exposed is coming as false. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir. I'll see.
Is exposed is coming as false. That means it is hidden from all users. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So if you have completed the development, let's say you already built the LWC part and you have written all the part in HTML and JS, but by mistake, if you have not marked this particular is exposed to
True.
true, that
Yes.
means it will not be available to anyone. Even you cannot use any kind of page or any kind of part. It is hidden,
Yes.
totally hidden,
Okay.
even for the system admin also. You can go
Okay.
to the Visual Studio Code, you can get the component, but whenever you logged in the Salesforce system, you will not get the particular component. So
Yes.
first prerequisite, what is that? To expose to everyone, that means to make visible to everyone, you have to mark as true. Clear?
Yes,
That
sir.
is the
Clear.
first part, and first prerequisite you have to do. Otherwise, anyone cannot see anything on this particular LWC. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Second part is that you have to make the targets. What is meaning by the targets? Target means it's a target audience, you can say something like that. You have written some of the LWC, but where actually you want to use? You want to use in a record page. Use in a record page means just I can log in the Salesforce system, my developer all. You can see this is the LWC component I have added. Okay.
Mm. Mm. Yes.
How I have added? I just go to this particular edit page. Now this particular means adding anything in the record page or something, if you don't get the training, then just please finish this training fast. Otherwise
Yes, sir. I know.
If
Yesterday I
it's the
complete
backend
this.
code, then you cannot do anything.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I'll.
Now, in the left hand side, normally you will get all the LWC components values. See here, all the LWC components is coming. Demo LWC also is coming. You can see, right?
Yes.
Now, if I make this is expose as false, then normally you will not get any options here.
Okay.
Now, if I just drag and drop this demo LWC, what will happen? Okay, one more thing is that first thing is that you have to expose is exposed as true. Second thing is that I make the target audience as app page, record page, and home page. App page, record page, and home page means this is whatever I am actually right now modifying. It's a home page. I
Yes.
expose this particular one in the home page. That's why this home in the home page I can see the demo LWC. Now see, I have created one new test LWC, test demo LWC, right? Test demo LWC. This is the new thing. The nothing is there. New page. Now just I am deploying this one. Let's say I am deploying this one in my org. Let's see if I can see this particular test demo LWC component here or not. Let's just refresh this page. Reload. Coming anything? Nothing. Nothing
No,
is
it's not showing because I'll not give any targets.
any target. Now
Yeah.
let me add the target as only home page as of now. I am not giving the record page or app page. Now just I am deploying this test demo LWC again. So remember this thing also. Whenever you are modifying anything, every time you have to click on right click and deploy. Otherwise, the component automatically will not be migrated to the Salesforce system or modified to the Salesforce system. Please keep in mind, because in the Visual Studio Code, I think whoever is writing the code, they have the idea, but whoever will install and try to write the code, please remember, whenever you clicking on save, automatically it will not be saved in the Salesforce system, Salesforce database. Every time you have to right click and click on the deploy to this source org, then actually it will be deployed to your Salesforce system. Okay.
Yes.
Now, as I done, whenever actually I make the target object and I deploy it, and then let me again refresh this particular page. Test demo LWC is coming now.
Yes.
Because I make the audience or means the options where actually I can expose this particular LWC. That's why it is coming. Even if you make it easy expose, then normally you cannot use any kind of part wherever you have not added the target audience, you can say. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now I think now the second target audience is the app page. What is called app page? Now let me just do one thing. Demo LWC I'm adding here and I'm saving it. App page means whenever you are creating any Salesforce app, this is a DC generic forms app. Here, if you want to add any LWC component, you can add. Now, another part is the record page. What is the record page? Whenever you go to any kind of account, let's say, sorry, any record, and this is the record page, means specific to a record. If you want to add that particular component in this particular record page, then you have to mention this target of audience as a record page. Clear? Even if you want to add it in the community site page, then also you have to mention where actually you want to expose this. So first you have to expose, but where actually you have to expose, that is actually we are mentioning in the targets. Clear?
Yes, sir. Now clear.
Okay, let me just start with this particular HTML part, whatever I have written. In the template tag, I have written one part called lightning card. Now, what is lightning card? It is just a blank card. Means you have a postcard, something like that, or the Word document. Whenever you open new Word document, it is opening a blank sections, right? You are writing something. Lightning card is something like that. It's a container, blank container. It's actually opening a blank container for you, and you are just writing something on this particular page. Just consider or just think about like this way. Okay, lightning card is nothing but a container. In the container you are writing something or you are making some designs. Okay, so lightning card is actually by default giving some of the additional features. It's built on the LWC lightning design system. Okay, so it's having some of the features like you can add some titles, you can make any icon if you want to. So those things actually have written. See, lightning card title I have given some called greeting. Now what is greeting? This greeting is actually a variable. It's not a static value. I can give a static value also. If I want to give any kind of name, let's say I have given a static name, LWC demo, and I have mentioned one icon. This is actually the features or you can say attributes of lightning card. Now, how you can understand or you can know more on this particular lightning card, if you hover, automatically all the options, all the attributes you will get here. See, actions, class, footer, icon name, title, variant, everything you will get. Or if you want to learn more, just go to the Google and search with lightning card. You can automatically get lightning card SLDS, Salesforce lightning design systems. See cards, it will give you all the design systems, all the things. Even if you can play on this particular one, means it is giving you some of the changing the code, and automatically it will show you that how it will look like. So this is the design system. Means by default Salesforce is giving you some standard design system. Based on that, actually you can take your decisions. Okay, I will take the lightning card or not, or if I take the lightning card, then what is the attribute I should mention. Everything you can get. So if you go to the specifications, automatically you will get all the attributes of the lightning card. So what attributes I have used in this particular lightning component? Only the title I have used, an icon, some of the icon. This icon actually the Salesforce standard icon. If I go to the Salesforce icons, normally Salesforce, if I search with Salesforce SLDS icons, I will get some of the lightning design system icons automatically. So this is the icons. Normally you can see any kind of standard objects. Okay, even if you add those particular icons in lightning components as well, or any page on any card you can add. Now what you have to add, this particular name you have to add: segment negative, segment neutral, sender email. Those name actually you have to add. Now what I have added, I have added this particular name. What is this particular one is actually referred? Let me check.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, how to use this icon? Actually, at first I have to download this icon, and where I have to
No,
store
no,
it.
you don't have to download this icon. This is the feature. You don't have to, because it is actually stored in the lightning design system. And in this LWC, that lightning design system is automatically is referring, because everything is written in the lightning LWC lightning design system, this particular language. Okay, so in between means in this particular LWC means lightning design system, this icon is already stored. So another database you don't have to, means another database you don't have to create. That
Actually, we
means
have to
they
write here the custom colon. Custom, matlab, what is
custom
the
colon custom 14 is nothing but this particular name. I am telling you. Let me go to this icon, whatever I have used. Just then I think you can understand. Let me check whatever the icon I have used. This one.
custom 14?
Custom 14. So you can see custom means I am using icon, and which is the category icon I am using,
Okay,
custom
okay.
category.
Category name. Okay,
Category is coming as the first colon, then icon name, because in category custom category you have different custom icons, right? So if I want to use this one,
so that
then
is
what I have
standard
to do, standard,
colon.
just I am writing there, standard and colon, then this name, let's say this one I am adding. Okay,
Understood.
and then I am just deploying this to the source org. Now if I just refresh the page here, see icon is changed.
Okay, okay.
And as I mentioned that I have given a title LWC demo, automatically see that demo, title has been changed. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to make the name, you have to mention the category name first and then colon, whatever the icon name you are using. Okay. Now don't use this particular icons. Only this is the category name. Utility,
Utility
standard,
colon heart. Okay,
customs, this one. Standard colon then name. Utility colon then name. Okay. This
okay,
is the category name and then the icon name. Okay. Now
okay.
different as I mentioned in the lightning card you have different features. Based on that you can mention the features if you want, because I have given a title. If I want to mention a footer, I can also make a footer, because whenever you are making any card, you can have some of the requirements that this particular placeholder should have one header, one footer. Like if you consider the the page of any kind of business page, normally they have some header section and some footer section, correct? So header and footer, those particular attributes also it is present here. You can see title is actually the header part. Okay, and footer also you have. Those is the attribute of the lightning card. This is actually a placeholder. Okay. Now in between lightning card, I have make a divisions, means a section. Sections, actually division is actually a totally a part of the HTML. Now what is divisions? It is actually a small sections of this particular whole lightning card. So I can make a different sections. I can adjust the section size. So sections, if I want to mention, then I have to make it in the as a div attribute. Okay. So div actually a particular sections it is representing. I think who have the knowledge on the HTML design, they can understand this very easily. But someone will struggle at the beginning. But this is not very complex part. Slowly, if you start, then automatically you can get a idea. Div is actually a division. Division is nothing but a section of the particular lightning component. Sorry, lightning card. So I have made only one section. I can make different sections as well, and different part I can add there. So in even in one sections you can have different fields, different components you can create. No problem for that. Now based on the some of the design, because whatever the requirements you are getting, that how the page should look like, you are actually making this particular decisions, that how the sections will be operating or something like that. Like just I given an example. If you go to search a phone in Amazon, First, in the home page, what we can see, you can see different advertisements is coming. Mobile phones for this range, or the microwave or TV or something, different options is coming. So in the home page, it is designed in a such a way so that it will show all everything, every details in a small icons. Now when you go to any particular home page, sorry, or any particular appliances, either it's a mobile or TV or anything, you could click on the sorry, mobile. What will appear? It will give you all the options of all the mobiles you have. Now they have made the different, means even every mobile part having the separate a specific sections on this particular page. That means first, let's say first it's showing Samsung mobile, it's having a specific size part, and then after that it is coming the Apple mobile part, means value. So every part is mentioned in a different, in a specific sections. Like I can show you, means what actually I want to mention here. Let me open. So see, this is actually control in a different section. This is a page. Okay. If you consider this is a lightning card, clear? This is a header. The black one is the header. This is the company logo, and there is no footer is actually mentioned. This is a search box in the header they have given. That means if you search something, automatically it will do some actions. So it is actually, you can see in the search box, what is actually doing, it is actually calling some actions, nothing but that. Clear? Now in this particular, this is one section, this is one section, this is one section, this is one, everyone is actually equal in size. This is div, this is actually one div, this is actually second div, third div, fourth div, something like that. Okay. And when in this particular div you have the subdivisions, or you can see another div here, actually four pages, sorry, four images is coming here, also four images is coming. Now if you click on this particular image, then what will happen, it will redirecting you a separate page. Here you can see in the left hand side it is showing the image, and right hand side it is actually showing the details of the mobile. So this is also a specific div, and this is also a separate div. Clear? This particular design, how actually I want to explain. Everyone, Somnath?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So based on the business requirement, you have to take decisions that how you build the design. There is no hard code rule. That's why we are going to the custom solutions. Hard code rule actually you can do in a out of the box solutions. That means in this particular feature, if it is operated, then I will do the this particular, or means I will write the flow, I'll write something. But if you have something that is not possible out of the box, that's why you are going to the custom solutions. And when you are going to the custom solutions, based on the business requirement, you have to take the decisions, you have to make the page, you have to make the design. So HTML is nothing but the design of the page. Whenever I am going to this particular section, whatever I can see, right, left hand side is image, right hand side there is some of the text. This is actually a HTML. But if I go to this particular image, it is automatically showing in a big screen or big image. This is action. This is actually JavaScript action. Okay. Even if I click on this particular button also showing in a HTML, but when I click the button, then after that, whatever the actions it is doing in the, it is control in the JavaScript part. Okay. So just I mentioned the different divisions. Now in the divisions, whatever I have given, I have just taken one input field, lightning input field. Now what is lightning input field? It's also a lightning feature, lightning SLDS features. I already told that lightning design system means is one of the library. On based on that, on top of that, actually you made the LWC component. That means some of the features they automatically Salesforce is providing you to write the code. And whenever you are using that particular lightning component, sorry, lightning design system component, some of the attributes you automatically get. But if that also not solving your problem, means your requirement, then you can go to the custom one, custom HTML part. Custom HTML, what is custom HTML? This is actually very much complex. I will come later. Okay. So you can say lightning input is actually a particular language, like particular part of the lightning design system. Okay, this is actually nothing but the input box. Input box means where actually you can search something or you can write something. Okay, lightning input is nothing but the input field, input box, input text, whatever means. Text means input placeholder. Now what kind of input you can you can take from that particular input field, you can mention either it will be a text or it will be a number. You can mention that one. What will be the label? I have not given any kind of means what kind of placeholder it is, because why I have not given, because I am not normally taking the text value. If I go to the lightning input, just if I go to the lightning input, if I go to the specifications, here you can see lightning input and type. Type is actually a data type, you can say. As when you are creating the field, normally you are mentioning the data type, right? First time, either it will be a checkbox or it will be a text or number. Normally pick list or multi-select pick list, those options will not appear in this particular lightning input. This is not possible. If you can create a drop down, but that will be a different logic to creating the drop down. Either you can mention directly some of the drop down field, Salesforce field. Let's say you created one drop down in account object, you can directly mention that particular field. That particular Salesforce field, if you want to display any kind of page, how you can display that is, I will come later stage, means after 2 3 class. Then you can understand, okay, so if you want to expose some of the drop down field, how actually you can expose that particular drop down field in the page layout. Or if you want to build any kind of custom drop down, then also how can you can build, I will showcase you. And as I have not mentioned any kind of type here, I have not mentioned any kind of type here, that means by default it is text. If I mention explicitly any kind of type, normally that kind of value it will take. If I mention number, normally you cannot enter text. As I have not mentioned, that means by default it is text. That means it can take anything, text, number, anything. It's alphanumeric. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lightning input, I have just given a name. Label is nothing but the name of the fields. Like just you are, whenever you are creating any custom field, you are giving some name. Now value means by default what are the value you want. If you want to populate any kind of value, you can mention. And also if you write something, then you have to store that value. So this is the placeholder actually where you are storing the value. So value, you can see here what is mentioned in the value attributes. Specifies the value of the input element. This is you have to mention. Otherwise, normally if you write something or if you want to store that value, automatically you will not get. So you have to mention this value particular attribute. And now here I have mentioned one variable. Now every time I'm mentioning it's a variable. What is variable? If I go to the JS part, just I mention, automatically this particular line it will appear. That means it's importing the LWC part from the lightning element, lightning design system. Also it is extending, that means adding the feature on the lightning element. And this is the variable. Like in the Apex class, normally you are writing some of the variables. Either it can be a public variables or private variables or global variables. I think you all have the idea in Apex class, right? Variables.
Yes, sir.
Variables is nothing but one temporary placeholder where you are storing some values, right? That's why we are creating the variables. Local temporary storage, you can say. This is also the local storage. We are actually writing. Sorry, you can say uh, mentioning one variable here, which is actually a local variable where actually we want to store something. Okay. Now I have created one variable, and by default I stored the text called world on that particular variable. Okay. Now in LWC, whenever you are writing any variable, you don't have to give any kind of database there. Means in Apex class, whenever you are actually exposing any variable, normally you are mentioning the data type, right? String something or integer something or decimal something, the variable name. Correct? Every time whenever you are actually writing any variable. But in LWC,
Yes.
you don't have to mention any kind of database. Sorry, data type. Just you have to write the variable. Just if I write this one, this is enough in LWC. Okay. You don't have to do any kind of data type in mentioning here. So it can store any kind of value. It can store number, it can store text, anything. Okay. So there will be no problem. That means if you means let's say in HTML, if input type element have sorry, in the lightning input, if you mention the type as number and you have not mentioned the data type here, don't be confused that if you just refer this particular variable in this particular section, then it will create a problem or not. Normally what is happening in Apex class, if you make a variable as a integer, now if you want to assign that integer value in a text variable, a text field, normally it will give error, right? It will say no, directly you cannot do, means you cannot assign a integer value to a text, right? But in LWC, normally this kind of problem is not there. Whatever the variable you mention, automatically that variable will be actually taken here automatically. Not a issue. Okay. So you don't have to mention the data type. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Somnada?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now here actually I have written one variable called greeting, and that particular variable I have put in this particular value. That means whatever the value on this particular variable will get from the screen, that will be taken care the value of this particular lightning in input element. Okay.
Hmm.
Now as I mentioned, the greeting means this variable I have assigned the text called world, and as in this particular lightning input, when I expose, by default you will see the value called world in this particular input element. And here I have just mentioned one paragraph. P means actually the paragraph. Okay. What is I have mentioned? I just mentioned one static text, hello and then greeting. This part is static and this part is actually dynamic. As it is dynamic, it is coming under second bracket. Just remember, whenever actually you want to add some dynamic variable, you always write between the second bracket tag. This is the dynamic part, dynamic variable or dynamic actions you want to mention. Now what is actually I will put in double quotation, inside the double quotation, if you want to make any static value. Label I want to give any static name, I don't want to give any dynamic. That's why I mentioned in between double quotation tag. Okay. Value I want to make it dynamic, and also I want to make a variable. Means the value should be stored or come from a variable. That's why whatever the variable I declared in the LW in the JS part, that particular variable I have exposed here in between the second bracket tag. Here I am not mentioning any kind of quotations. Be sure on that. Okay. Clear this particular part?
Okay.
Don't be confused on this particular one, where actually I will put the double quotation and where I will put the second bracket tag. Okay. Now in this particular paragraph, first part, this is static. Though in between when paragraph, whatever we are writing, we don't have to mention as a quotation mark. Automatically it will take a some small sentence. Now hello, I have not given any kind of second bracket tag. That means system can understand, okay, it is a static value, it is not a variable. But greeting I have given inside the second bracket tag. So system automatically can understand, okay, then it is not a static word, it is a variable, and it is coming from somewhere. Okay.
Yes.
So in the paragraph section, there is no need to give
So
any
write any
quotation
quotation.
for.
No. You just inside the paragraph is nothing but you are writing something. You can write anything inside the paragraph. You don't have to mention any quotation there. If you mention quotation, automatically the quotations also appear in the screen,
Also appear.
because it is also also considered as the character. Okay. Now if I go to this particular LWC, see, you can see name. Name is the input title of the input field, right? This is the lightning input field. And see, by default, the value is coming as world. Why by default the value is coming world? Because I mentioned that by default the value will be coming from a variable. And I explicitly mentioned the variable with word. Means I added the word text in the variable. So at the time of load, automatically it is coming as word. Now, if I just change it or if I remove it, let's say I don't want to give any kind of default value here. What will happen? Okay, one more thing. At the top, means in the paragraph, whatever we have written, hello, and then inside the second bracket, we mention the variable, right? Now, variable, I given the text as a world, that's why it's coming as a hello world. Clear in this particular part, and then name field and in between by default the value how it is coming. This particular sections is clear to all of you.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now if I just remove this greeting, means the default value, default text, and then if I deploy this particular LWC component, what will happen? So what will happen? You just give me someone an answer. What will happen?
It will be null.
But
It
showing
will be
world.
blank.
It will show only hello, sir.
It will show blank. Null
Okay.
means it show blank, because there is nothing I have not given. It is a blank variable. Nothing I have entered here. Correct?
Yes.
That's why it is coming as blank. Hello, after hello also it is blank, because greeting is actually right now is null or blank, you can say. Now if I explicitly mention any text, then it's actually will appear there. And also remember one thing, any kind of variable value if you want to add inside JS, always use single quotation, don't use the double quotation, though it will not create a problem, but please follow the rule. That means always in between single quotations you write the word or text, whatever you want to add here. Okay. Just I have by default I have added some of the value in the variable. Then if I refresh, then normally those values will come, because it's now not blank. Clear?
Yes.
And it's input field means you can write anything. Automatically, whatever writing automatically in the above part is also showing. Now how it is showing, I will show you in I will show you later. So this particular part is clear to all of you, right? Now,
So,
yeah, tell me.
no, sir, just clear.
Okay. Now I have added one actions here. It's called on change action. Now this is some of the attributes of the lightning input element. On change, on click, on select. This is the attributes. Okay. Now what is mean by on change? Means when I am changing on the value of the particular input field, then the actions will fire. So this is the actions. Change, and before that it's mentioning on change means on the changing of the value, this particular actions will fire. Okay. On click, that means on clicking on the value, the particular actions will fire, like just like I just shown you the Amazon page. You just whenever actually there is a button. Now if I click the call button buy now, then on clicking on the button the actions is calling. Okay, I am clicking the button, then automatically it is redirecting to my a new page. This is actually a on click event or on click action, you can say. Event, you can say it's a event, or you can say also action, but it's better that's a on click event, you can say. On change, what is mean by on change? If you are writing something, let's say you are writing something, automatically see some drop down is appearing, right? This is called on change. Okay. On select, this is on select means on hover, not on select, on hover. That means whenever you are hovering on some particular images, this image is actually appearing in a zoom out, zoom in manner. Okay. So this is called on hover. That means you are, when you are hovering on this particular image, it's doing some of the action and it's giving you some response in the page. Okay, clear?
Yes, yes.
yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
So what I have written here is I have written one on change event. Now in the on change event, I have called one action, what's called change handler. Now this change handler I have written in the JS. Always I told you that everything whatever you are writing in this particular HTML, the actions and everything you have to mention in the JS. So you can see HTML and JS parallelly is working. Okay, JS is nothing but the action part controlling, and HTML is nothing but the H means view part is controlling and taking the input for you, from you, means from the user. But after taking the input, what the screen will do, that is controlling the JS part. Now, as I mentioned, I have written one action, change handler. This change handler I call from this on change event of the lightning input box. Okay. And now in change handler event, now why I written as call event? This is a function. See, I have written. I have written one name. I can give the name anything, whatever I want, text, demo, anything. Though give the proper, follow the proper naming convention. So I have given one function. This is actually a function. I have given one name and first bracket. In between the first bracket, I have given call event. Why I have mentioned call event? Because it is firing on particular event, right? What is the event? On change event. That's why I mentioned call event. It's not a normal function. It's actually firing, or it's actually doing the actions based on some of the event. Event means on change, on click. This is the events. That's why I mentioned in between this particular first bracket event. So system can understand, okay, this is an event function. That means based on some operations, either on click, on change, on hover, this particular functions will be called. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is a function name, event, and inside the function, second bracket start, second bracket end. Inside this, I have to write whatever I want to. Now, what I have written? See this dot greeting. Now, what is mean by this dot greeting? Greeting is a variable. I am this dot greeting means it's a syntax. That means I am taking the greeting, whatever I have mentioned as a variable. That means I am taking the greeting properties, I am taking the greeting variables from the system. That's why this dot greeting. And then I am overwriting that particular value with event dot target dot value. Now, what is mean by event dot target dot value? Event is actually firing from some of the portion, right? Now, which target is actually this event is firing? What is the target? This is the on change event. So this is the target, lightning input, correct? This is the target. That means where actually, from where actually this event is firing. Event firing, but where? From here, this lightning input element, correct? So target, what is the target? This is the lightning input box is the target. Okay. And in from this target, what it is taking? It is taking the value attribute. That means this one. Okay. Now that means when I am changing the value on this particular input field, then it is firing this particular event. When it is coming to the event, it's checking that, okay, what is the target? Means how the event is fired and what is the target and what is the value of that particular target event. Okay. Now, what is the value of that event? That latest value, it is assigning on this particular variable, greeting variable, which is before it's by having the value called world, right? A text value, normal text. Right now, whenever I am changing, automatically the value will be changed because it is it is a input field. Whatever the value I am typing, automatically it will be taken in this particular attributes, and whatever the value it is taken in the value attribute of the target object or the target attributes, sorry, target actions, that particular value we are assigning this particular variable, means overwriting. Already whatever we written, we are overwriting this particular value. Clear?
Okay.
So that means if I write something, automatically this greeting part will be changed. This greeting variable value will be changed. By default, it is world. But if I write something, it will be changed, overwritten. So here it is also overwritten. That means normally it is overwritten, means if you are typing, normally it is already overwritten. But also the changes, you can see the reflections in this particular paragraph part. How? I can show you in the page. By default, how it is showing? World, right? By default, it is coming as world, correct? Now, if I just write, see, whatever I am writing, whatever I am changing, automatically it is taking this input element and also it is updating the variable greeting. And that's why whatever I have mentioned the greeting variable on the paragraph. So that's why the changes also appearing here. See, automatically it is appearing. If I remove the value, automatically it will be removed from the paragraph part. Clear?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is one of the event we are firing, and based on that event, what we are doing, whatever the value we are changing, we are assigning one variable. This is the simple LWC I have written, not complex, basic LWC. Okay. So I think this will be too much for you, all of you, for today. Just go through this particular trailhead of LWC, basic LWC part. If you want, I can share this particular demo HTML to all of you, but better that if you write something on of your own, by using Visual Studio Code, then it will be good. So you can actually, if you write, then you can understand more. So Somnatha, I think it will be better that you, all of you, then if you can write some of the LWC component basic, just display something. Don't call any FX class, something like that.
Yes.
Next class and showcase us, then I think we can understand, or you can also have some questions. Okay, I cannot understand this part, I cannot understand this part, so can you please explain this one? So it will be very helpful for you. So as of now, just I'm stop sharing and also closing the record.